Be honest, how many times have you told yourself this is the last time? The last time you'll mindlessly scroll through Instagram at 2 a.m. The last time you'll smoke that cigarette. The last time you'll binge on junk food when you're stressed. And yet, here we are again. That's because nearly all advice about breaking bad habits is completely wrong. Today, I'm going to show you a different approach, one that doesn't rely on willpower, motivation, or guilt. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We're going to make your bad habits so incredibly boring that your brain just loses interest in them entirely. Here's the truth your brain doesn't want you to know. Willpower is a myth, at least the way we usually think about it. When scientists study people who appear to have incredible self-control, they find something surprising. These people aren't actually exercising more willpower than the rest of us. They've simply arranged their lives so they don't need to. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to hack your environment, your routines, and even your technology to automatically make bad habits boring and good habits easy. I'm going to walk you through 3 powerful strategies that work with your brain's natural wiring rather than against it. First, we'll kill the glamour of your bad habits by stripping away everything that makes them exciting. Then, we'll add just enough friction to make those habits annoying to perform. Finally, we'll replace the rush you get from bad habits with something healthier that satisfies the same craving. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple but incredibly effective game plan for making your worst habits so boring that quitting them feels automatic. Let's start with the first strategy: killing the glamour. Your brain is wired to seek out novelty and excitement. That's why social media apps use bright colors, why fast food uses vibrant packaging, and why cigarettes have that satisfying crackle when you light them. All of these are carefully designed triggers to make bad habits feel more appealing than they actually are. But we can reverse engineer this. Take your phone, for example. Right now, every app icon is designed to grab your attention with bright colors and notifications. But what if we turned all of that off? Go into your phone settings right now, I'll wait, and turn on grayscale mode. On Android, you'll find it in developer options. Suddenly, your entire phone looks like an old newspaper. No more candy-colored app icons begging for your attention. No more visual dopamine hits every time you unlock your screen. Studies show this simple change can reduce phone usage by 20% or more almost immediately. Why? Because your brain looks at that gray screen and thinks it's boring. We've taken something designed to be irresistible and made it about as exciting as reading a terms and conditions page. Now let's apply this same principle to other habits. If you're trying to eat healthier, take all those brightly packaged junk foods and put them in plain containers or wrap them in aluminum foil. Remove the branding that makes them seem special. If you're trying to cut back on drinking, pour your alcohol into a plain glass rather than drinking from the bottle or can. The goal here is simple. Strip away all the psychological triggers that make your bad habits feel exciting and important. When we remove the artificial glamour, we're left with the reality. And often, the reality is pretty boring. The second strategy is even more powerful, adding friction. Human behavior follows the path of least resistance. We do what's easy, not necessarily what's good for us. Right now, your bad habits are almost certainly the easiest options available to you. But we can change that by making them just slightly more difficult to perform. Not impossible, just annoying enough that your lazy brain will think twice. Let me give you some examples. If you're trying to reduce social media use, delete the apps from your phone and only access them through your mobile browser. That extra step of having to log in each time creates just enough friction to make mindless scrolling less appealing. If you're trying to watch less TV, take the batteries out of your remote and keep them in another room. If you're trying to eat less junk food, don't keep it in your pantry. Put it in your garage or basement so you have to make a special trip to get it. Here's why this works so well. Your brain is constantly calculating effort versus reward. When the effort required for a habit increases even slightly, the perceived reward needs to be much higher to justify it. By adding friction, we're essentially making your brain do a cost-benefit analysis in real time. And often it will decide the habit just isn't worth the effort anymore. The beautiful part? This happens automatically without you needing to exercise willpower. Now, for the third and most important strategy, replacing the rush. Every bad habit serves some purpose in your life. Maybe smoking gives you a break from work. Maybe your junk food comforts you when you're stressed. Maybe social media gives you a hit of social connection. If we don't find healthier ways to meet these underlying needs, simply removing the bad habit leaves a void that will eventually pull you back in. This is where most habit change methods fail spectacularly. They focus only on stopping the bad behavior without providing an alternative. But your brain doesn't work that way. It will always seek out ways to meet its needs. That's why replacement is so crucial. The key is to find something that provides a similar reward but aligns with your goals. For example, if social media gives you a sense of connection, replace it with texting a friend or joining an online community around a hobby. If smoking gives you breaks at work, replace it with short walks outside. If stress eating comforts you, replace it with a cup of herbal tea or a few minutes of deep breathing. The replacement doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough to satisfy the underlying craving while being significantly healthier than your current habit. The magic happens when you combine all three strategies. Any one of them will help, but together they create a powerful system that makes bad habits fade away almost automatically. Remember, the goal isn't to fight your cravings through sheer willpower. It's to arrange your environment so you don't need willpower in the first place. Here's your action plan. First, pick one habit you want to change. Just one. We want this to be manageable. Second, apply all three strategies to that habit. Kill its glamour, add friction, and find a replacement. Third, track your results for at least 2 weeks. Notice how your desire for the habit changes when it's no longer exciting, convenient, or your only option for meeting a particular need. The most surprising thing you'll discover? How little willpower this approach requires. When you make bad habits boring and good habits easy, change happens almost effortlessly. You'll find yourself naturally gravitating toward better choices without the constant internal struggle. Remember, you're not weak-willed, you've just been using the wrong strategies. When you understand how habits really work and how to hack your environment, you'll find that breaking bad habits isn't about fighting yourself. It's about setting up smarter systems. And that's how you make lasting change without the struggle. If you found the content helpful, I would really appreciate a subscribe. It helps support my channel and also helps me keep making new videos weekly.